Hello. Today, like I said yesterday, we are doing a COD tier list. Yes. And we're only going to be going over ones that I have played because obviously it'd be kind of stupid to put games you haven't played in a tier because you don't really know. So yeah. First game of the day is going to be Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. We're going to go in order of like release date. So, COD 4, definitely not the first COD game I played, but definitely in terms of like the story, it definitely had like a solid contained story. If you were to just kind of like end it there, I feel like you could have just like went with that. Like if people didn't like the game or anything, of course, that was the beginning of, well, the modern Captain Price, because I'm pretty sure there was a Captain Price in like the older games too. I think my brother played one of like the older ones, and there was Captain Prices or some other like rank of Price in there too. But definitely the start of what would be the trilogy. I think it had pretty good like gunplay and stuff like that too. The remaster was also really clean looking. Um, Also the multiplayer. I remember the multiplayer was so freaking crazy. And in the remaster, there's actually bots. And I don't know if I made a video playing that yet, but playing Shipment, and you can do like 9v9. Playing Shipment 9v9, dude, freaking insane. The shotguns, the kill streaks, everything. It's just freaking crazy. I might need to actually make a video on that. So I'm gonna put, well, in terms of what it was at the time versus like where it is now, it's still like a pretty linear story though. I'm gonna put it. I'll put it at B. You know, a solid game overall, but in terms of like what the COD games are in general, I don't think it's anything too special. Now we have Call of Duty World at War. All right, now this one probably gonna be a little bit higher. Definitely a lot more like gory and graphic. One of the better like World War II games that's in the like COD series for sure. It had Reznov in it and Dimitri. One of my like two favorite characters. Reznov more than Dimitri, of course, but like charging in with like Reznov, especially in the Russian campaign, was so cool. And comparatively to the newest World War II game, it actually shows it like all the fronts pretty much. It shows the Russians versus the Germans, and then the Americans versus the Japanese in the Pacific. It really captures, I think, a more war era kind of vibe, especially with the gore, and with like the Russian side, you definitely get more of like the war side of it. The American side is it's more like how the World War II game, the most recent one called World War II. No, actually, the most recent one is Vanguard, but the second most recent World War II game that Activision has released, it goes more with that one. So like it's more brothers in arms kind of thing. But I definitely feel like the perspectives it shows and like the like tragedies of war and like the war crimes definitely give you like a better idea of how it actually went down. So I'm probably gonna give that one an A, just for like the realism in it. And I also heard the multiplayer is pretty good. I haven't really gotten too into the multiplayer, because when I started playing it, most of the servers were like just team deathmatch and didn't really have like full games or anything like that. Next up, Modern Warfare 2. Oh man. Modern Warfare 2. God, you don't know how much I just cut out of me coughing and clearing my throat. Anyway, Modern Warfare 2, I believe, was the first COD game I played. And when I played it, it was on our 360 when my brother and I still shared a room in California. Now, my brother hated when I played the Xbox when he didn't like allow me to, and that was a whole separate thing. Um, but like I would always sneak on it whenever he wasn't home, and there was this certain mission in there, and I believe it was called it was the one right before the Hornet's Nest, where you chase down Rojas, um, and you get sent with like two other guys while McTavish and Ghost like interrogate this other dude, and basically your two homies die, right? And then you have to go on the rest of that mission alone until you regroup with Ghost and McTavish at the end of the mission, so it doesn't really matter at that point. And I hated not having a team. I was so scared. Like I actually like cried because I was like young, right? I probably shouldn't even have been playing that game on like a mental development for a child level of things, but like I was so scared I would like cry because I was just like, what am I supposed to do, you know? And especially in a mission like that where they're all over the place and like they're grenade spamming you and stuff like that sometimes, and they're shooting you from every which direction. It like terrified me as a child. Um, so yeah, that sucked. But I also have a favorite mission on there, which is the mission after that, and it's called the Hornet's Nest. And I liked it because you got the ump 45 with the ACOG sight, and I love the ump. I especially love the ump with the iron sights, but really just that gun I liked a lot, and it was because I got to use that in it was such like a like kind of like a run and gun kind of level, and there was like certain paths that you could take that like derivated, is that the right word, derivated, that split off like the main path, right? So you could go like after you get past the first area, you get past this alleyway and then you're in this like field area and you're fighting some dudes. You got to take out a sniper, and then you can go left or right, and then after you get past there, it goes up into a main road again, and then you can go down an alleyway or go down, straight like that, right? And that was one of my favorite levels because you get some more choices, especially down the road. And then at the end of that level, there's also this chase scene when when like you guys are running away, and then you jump on, spoilers, god if you haven't played it, but at this point I'm not really sure if that's much of a spoiler, but you're like running on the rooftop and you try to jump, and then McTavish tries to catch you but he misses, and then he's like, Roach, wake up, they're coming for you. And they're like all over the place shooting guns and stuff like that, and you gotta run with like bullets being shot like directly behind you and stuff, and you gotta get on the rooftops again, and you jump to the helicopter. So that's pretty, so that was that's why that was one of my favorite missions. Again, this is a sequel to Modern Warfare, COD 4 Modern Warfare, and I think it picks up pretty well. Definitely wasn't expecting the ending with General like Shepard and stuff, I will admit. When I was playing most of these games, because like I came in at Modern Warfare, and I was pretty into like the COD series up until like probably Ghost or Advanced Warfare, so like really like the Middle Ages of COD. Um, so I wasn't too focused on the story, but going back and looking at it now, it was definitely like a pretty, again, like well put together story, a pretty good sequel. It fit like the era that it tried to go in well. There was some few plot points that were like a little off. Like I watched a review on MW2, and the guy made a point, um, where when they did the airport shooting, where you basically played as like a terrorist, um, like as an undercover like operative and stuff like that, and the Russians discover you, which, and you're playing as an American who shut up like a Russian airport, and it starts World War III because it's an American terrorist act on like Russian soil. But like they didn't investigate like Makarov and his other guys, even though like two of them also died there. So that was kind of like, it wasn't just an American who did it; it was like other Russians who participated. So some bigger plot points right there, but generally an enjoyable game, I'd say. It also carried off like some of the like what like the concepts of the multiplayer from like Modern Warfare, and the kill streaks, like the tactical nuke thing, the AC-130, freaking. awesome. Also, the lobby chats. You guys remember my brother played MW2 lobby. We didn't have a game, so we couldn't really hear, or so we couldn't like really talk. But you could hear like those lobbies, and oh my freaking god, they'd just be so loud, dude. And when I actually got to play it myself, it was so fun. I really enjoyed it. So I'm probably gonna give that one an A tier as well. Ooh, Black Ops. Okay, okay. COD Black Ops, the first one. Before it took a downhill at 3 and 4, I'd say. But for right now, we're talking about Black Ops. Black Ops. Probably my probably my second or third favorite game. My first might be Black Ops 2, and my third might be Cold War, or my and first might be, well, Cold War. I will get to that. But Black Ops, it's like, how do I put it? It is. It also starts in one of my favorite like eras in like the Cold War. And you start, the first mission is the Bay of Pigs invasion, where basically there was Brigade 2055, I believe is what it was called, and it was made up of a bunch of like Cuban rebels, and they were going to assault an airfield, and they did, and it didn't work, and that kind of put the U.S. and Cuba in like pretty high tension. So that was really cool because it was like interlaced with history as well, and they put Kennedy in the game, which was also really cool. It was it fit like that Black Ops like secret government missions like nobody would know. It's like blacked out with the blackout ink. The vibe fitted perfectly, and with the interrogation scenes and stuff like that, where with like all the numbers and all the TVs, and the interrogator guy, spoilers, it is Hudson, and he's like, "What are the numbers? What do the numbers mean?" And then Mason's like, "Kiss my ass," and those are so cool, especially when like other people like clip them in their videos and stuff now, which is like really, it's really funny. Also, like the secrets in it too. There's like a good amount of like it's like a secret menu. I forget, but you get to play like this, like a text-based game. There's also, oh, I can't believe I forgot, Dead Ops Arcade, which is like a top-down arcade style zombies game, right? And it is super fun. It caught on super quick. Like generally like the COD community just loved that, and I did too, and so did my brother. And it was really fun playing that. And the campaign itself was really engaging. Really good characters: Mason, Woods, Hudson, Weaver, Bowman. My boy Bowman. Oh man, I wish he would have lived. I wish he would have. But, dang. Alright, F's in the chat for my boy Bowman. But yeah, really solid game. The multiplayer, again, I didn't really mess with multiplayer a lot in like these games, because I mentioned it in another video, I forget which, but like I was really afraid of like multiplayer games and stuff like that. But that's enough for right now. Anyway, that's going really high up on the list. I'm going to give that. Ew, I'm in between A and S for it. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A, because Reznov also comes back in that, in the Reznov's 8 Steps to Freedom. Oh my goodness. I memorized those. When I was working at Walmart, I would literally be going like throughout my day in produce, stocking vegetables and fruits and stuff, and just like, step 1, secure the keys, just like under my breath, so nobody will like know, and I'm just walking around, just going over the 8 steps to freedom. So definitely some iconic moments in there and stuff like that. MW3 for me wasn't really. It really kind of felt like it doubled down on like what MW2 and COD 4 did, It wasn't really like a standout thing. There was some twists, with Yuri and Makarov, and how does Makarov know you? And we got to see the nuke drop, but from like a different perspective. And Yuri was always kind of lurking behind, and he was at the trade off in COD 4. So yeah, I mean it ended the series with the bang. Price gets Makarov, but loses freaking spoilers. He loses Soap and Yuri. So multiplayer was pretty similar, as far as I could tell. There was the survival mode, and one of my friends actually really liked that a lot. And as far as like survival and like zombies and stuff like that, I'm not really like a huge fan of like survival modes. I really find enjoyment with it when I like play with friends and stuff, mostly, but I wouldn't really do it by myself. But that's kind of like the thing with like video games in general and like zombies is like you get the homies together and you fight some zombies. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to put MW3. Oh yeah, and it also had Spec Ops, and I heard Spec Ops did have a pretty good improvement from MW2. So I'm gonna put it at C. I think C is a good spot for it. Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2. All right, I single-handedly have probably spent more time on Black Ops 2 with on campaign and bots alone than I have with any other game I have ever played. Maybe besides Men of War. Or maybe Battlefield 5 now, but probably still Black Ops 2 the most time I've spent on a game. I played this game like so much. I found like all the intel. I started going after challenges. I have like all the secret or like all the like locked weapons and stuff like that. Um, so I really went all out with this game. I was really invested in it. The story itself is really engaging. Your villain Menendez has like I think like he goes a little far. Like his sister got killed by like an American like a insurance dude or something, for he was trying to get like insurance money for like burning down the house that Menendez was in, and his sister died, and then he went after Americans because they also CIA like capped his dad or something. So he had like a vendetta, and he was trying to hit back, right? So I think as far as his motivations go, they could have been a little bit more fleshed out, maybe. But overall, I could definitely get behind why he'd be so angry. His sister and his dad. Just the level of choice you get in this game. You get to like it's literally just like a choose your own adventure. There's prompts like you can, again, spoilers, you can kill or save, Harper. You can kill Menendez or keep him alive. You can go different routes. There's one where you can avoid this like pipe that's on fire. And Harper's face can get burned from that if you like drive into it on this like driving level. Or you can avoid it and like he'll be saved, and you get like a certain you get a certain like voice lines depending on like certain decisions that you make. There's if you leave Harper alive, that also comes back. If you don't, there's like so much choice. There's like secret areas too. There's like an access kit that you have, which in certain levels can like give you access to like certain weapons or like machines and stuff like that. So in one, you get like in the first level, your access kit gives you access to like throwable mortars. In another one, it allows you to get this one of the claws. I believe another one gives you access to a room where you can overhear a conversation of where to get some like transportation vehicles from, and then you give that information to your buddy, and that comes back later in the level. Um, there's one where you have to like chase down. Oh my goodness, yeah. There's one where you got to chase down like one of like a heavily valued target, something like that. Um, and the person kidnapping her, you can like kill him or not. Like if you catch up and kill him in time, that also leads to its own thing. And if you don't, there are side missions in this game, and the side missions have an effect on the campaign itself. Um, so like when it's almost like a little RTS, like side mission, like series of side missions, where you have to like protect like an ambassador's convoy that's like coming under fire or something like that. And if they make it to where they gotta go, he's like in your debt, and then he's like, oh, your side of this like whole war is like the right side, and we're not gonna fall to pressuring like enemies around us, and we're not gonna fall under their influence and do what they say. So stuff like that really just makes the campaign more dynamic and more interesting and a lot more engaging. And the amount of endings you can get, there's like, I think there's at least like five, I'm pretty sure. And for a COD game up to this point, like talking chronologically, that is like really unique, and this has really stood out in the campaign. The multiplayer was like really, really engaging. I played it for years, like years. Just with bots, experimenting with different weapons. There's also DLC that I recommend that you get, but at this point, not really, may not really be worth it unless you're like a die-hard fan. But and then the zombies, let me tell you, is can be the most annoying part of this. With the base maps, they are so like there's fire on the ground, right? There's little cracks with like lava in them, and you can take damage and get lit on fire. Now, when you're getting chased by zombies, and you got to train people, and you got to be like running on the ground, one thing you don't want to have to worry about is like touching lava as you're running around and stuff, and taking like extra damage when you don't really need to, which is the most annoying thing ever. And there is DLC for zombies, and the zombies DLC actually looks kind of cool. I would get that and play it with the homies if they'd also be down with it. So yeah, I'm gonna put Black Ops 2 at S for sure. Ghosts, and I'm going to end it at Ghost because this video is already gonna be a little long, so we'll do a part 2 later. Ghosts. Now, even if you didn't play the game, you probably know that Ghost was not very well received in the COD community, and that's for good reason. People don't like the multiplayer, the alternate like survival mode, like zombies. It was called Extinction. It was like, I didn't play it myself, but from what I saw on like reviews and stuff, Extinction was not very engaging in the long term. So that kind of sucks. I did, however, play the campaign, and I did play bots because, again, at this time I was still very afraid of multiplayer. But as far as the campaign, the way it was like pitched, like the trailers and stuff that you saw, almost kind of made you think it was gonna be a little bit like Black Ops. This like small group of soldiers is gonna go on like secret missions into like enemy lines, and you're gonna pretty much just guerrilla warfare these dudes, get the like hit these guys from where they can't really see, stuff like that, ghosts. But it was a little, it was coming off of like Black Ops 2, and like from Black Ops 2 to Modern Warfare, with those games, I would say that's like the most solid streak of like games that COD has come out with for the most part, story wise and stuff like that. But one of the biggest problems with like COD is like the linear like campaigns. Like, there's not much choice, there's not much derivation. Even like Black Ops 2, you can customize your loadout. There was challenges, there was unlockable weapons for the campaign and stuff like that. So, coming off of like Black Ops 2 and come back with Ghosts, it was like linear. There was very little customization of the campaign, very little choice. There wasn't really any choice to make at all in the campaign at all. Um, and really, there's just not much to say about it. It's more of like one man army syndrome stuff like that. But that's kind of like a stereotype in COD, and that's probably just gonna keep happening. Um, so yeah, as far as the campaign, it was missing. It had a good premise, but the execution overall just wasn't really what it needed to be. It could have been a lot better than it was. As far as multiplayer, there was pretty good customization, like with soldiers and stuff like that. There's some good weapons. The perk system was actually like really different. I liked it. You could like mix and match like lower, not worse, but like lower, sort of not as useful perks, like perks that don't do as much. So you could get like a bunch of small perks, or you could get like a few big ones. So that's sort of the customization that you kind of have with that. And of course, like I said, with soldier customization, you had a bunch of stuff that you could do with that. And I did also watch a review for COD Ghost, and I did forget that there was also these like like these commentator voice packs, where instead of like the normal like announcer dude, you could get Snoop Dogg, and you could get the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, I believe. So that was pretty unique, but at the end of the day, just the main meat of Ghost really just couldn't hold up. I believe that will be the end of the part one for the Cod Tier List. So there will be a part two later. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.